Page 38, Jingle Bell Boogie. Okay, sounds like it's sort of like a boogie woogie taken off of Jingle Bells, except they want it in a swing rhythm, and I usually don't swing boogie woogies, but all right, we'll just go with this and see what happens. That's it. So I'm going to follow my system for learning a piece of music. So I'm going to look it over. I see it's about 2 pages long. It's longer than that because there's a DCL code on that, and that's going to make it longer. But there's only about 2 pages worth of music to learn, and that's what I'm after. Treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature, so we're either in the key of G major or E minor, because those are the 2 keys with 1 sharp. If I look at the end, the half note is here, and then so I'm ending here. It's a G chord. I'm guessing I'm in G major. But when I do the scales, I'm going to do the scales for both, the G major and E minor, and probably the arpeggios too. At least 1 octave. 2 would be better, but yeah. And then 4/4 time signatures. So I want to take it one hand at a time and make sure the fingering and everything is working. Rhythm's a little tricky. Here we're starting here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Now they're showing a swing rhythm up above, but I do that later. Right now I'm playing even 8th notes. So it's second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Yeah, the third measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's fine. I don't see anything too tricky about that. In measure 8, you hear rest. It's 1 and 2 and. See, beat 2, there's a rest. So then the note is played on the and of 2. 2 and. If I take out the ties and play all those notes in that measure, it's 1 and 2 and 3. It's a except I just tie them. I'm just playing it once. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you don't want to be up in here, then just come down here. Just reach down. I'll leave that up to you. And then you do it. Okay. Let's go over to page 17. You're down here. 1 and then we're here. Going on, it's F natural now. I know it sounds wonderful, just go with it. Next measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Going on, then it's B flat. If you don't want to be up in here, you got to do that. I'll leave that up. I don't know how big your hands are, just rest. That's an F sharp there. They don't need the sharp. It's an F sharp anyway, but they're being clear. You may think it's an F natural, but they want to make sure you understand it's an F sharp. That's okay. And 24 now it's B natural, and they don't need the natural sign because the B flat before is only good for that measure. But again, they're being clear. It's fine. Let's be. And then you come up. And count this out very carefully, you'll be fine. Left hand's got this. This is very common in boogie woogies. It's all you're gonna get this. You just scrunch it up a little bit. And then measure 5, scrunch up here. Same thing, you're just up here for 1 measure down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. They don't need the natural sign in measure 8. It's a natural anyway, but it doesn't hurt being there. They're just being clear. So put the hands together. And again, I'm just concerned about when we're playing together. So I'm liable to hesitate all over. I don't care. It's here, here, right there. Second measure. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So they're different. 4 and 1. 4 and 1. Careful and work out the fingering and the notes together and the counting and all that, and then go back through it a few however many times it takes and get rid of all the hesitations. You keep it as slow as necessary, but no hesitations anywhere. Then I think about the articulation. Staccatos, I'm flexing at the wrist here. I have time, my hands is on the keys and I'm simply pushing down and bouncing off. Boom, boom, boom. I put it back on the key before I do the next one. Now if it's quick, I don't have time to do that. I have to do this, but it's a very small motion. It's not a big motion. It's a small motion. Here it depends on how fast I'm going to go. If I'm going slow, I'm going to do that. And the second measure, 1 and 2. Back to neutral, just hang on to that. I would accent that myself and then go on. Lift up. Accent. Bum, bum. See, the idea is it's normal in interpreting music when you have syncopated notes, and that's what this is in measure 3. That, bum, bum. We think it should be. That's what we're looking for, but we play that note quicker. Well, it's normal when you have accented notes or syncopated notes to just accent it. As far as interpreting, you just put the accent in. So in measure 3, I would accent that last note anyway because it's syncopated. But they're telling me, that's fine. Play it a little louder. Now on the left hand at the beginning, you see under it says legato. That's telling you to connect this. Because if they didn't tell you, it would be up to you. You could disconnect them if you wanted to. But they're telling you legato, so that takes it away. Now you're connecting this and staccato here. And this other, go ahead and play this as connected as you can. See, in measure 6, I would put a little accent on that. Measure 8, accent that. Now let's go over to the last measure of the page. It's measure 15, accent staccato. No accent there. Accent. I don't know that you need accent on loud notes, but okay. Gets a little much in my mind. You can adjust the dynamics if it's getting too loud for you, come down a little bit. But keep the left hand in the background. Now when you get to the coda, there at the bottom here, I suggest you separate these notes just a speck. It kind of helps to bring out the accents, sort of. Don't connect them. No, separate it, just make each one a little bit short. And then the last note is a G with an AVA under it. So instead of this G, you go down here. Staccato. And as you play it, lift that up. And while I'm here, they're showing pedal on that. Here. For the overtones and all, color it. That's fine. That's typical in a blues type piece, whatever. You would just pedal at the end. Even though we didn't pedal anywhere else, they would pedal that. See, a lot of these books I find they want to pedal at the end. And I say, no, if you're not going to use pedal anywhere else, don't use it here. But in this style of music and blues type music, and this is sort of a blues piece, they do put at the end, they want to color, they're going to hold that out, and they want the overtones. A lot of times they'll tremble it. You don't need to do that. Just pedal it. So put the pedal down with the notes if you want, since it's accented. And then lift the pedal up when you lift the right hand. Here, because I lift the right hand when I play that, lift the pedal up with it. I'm not going to show pedal if that's all they're going to do. I'm sure you can handle the pedal. Back to what I was doing before I got sidetracked with the pedal. After the articulation, I think about the dynamics. Mezzo forte, moderately loud, that's the melody. It's going to be the right hand. Keep this left hand soft, and that's going to be a trick, because the tendency is going to be, as time goes on, you're just going to get that louder and louder. It'll just happen. Because it's so busy, you have to make a conscious effort to keep the left hand out of the way. page 17, they give you a crescendo to go up to loud. Yeah. Again, I don't agree with putting accents on loud notes. Just go up to loud. Now, you can accent the syncopated notes. That makes them very loud. Just keep the left hand in the background. The coda, you start that out moderately soft. It's going to be both hands here. The accents is going to take it up a notch. So I don't know why we got accents here, other than it might help you in the interpretation. Because that would be like saying, okay, these notes are mezzo piano, but with the accent that takes it up to mezzo forte, so I'm just going to play a mezzo forte. Well, they could have just put that in the music, mezzo forte, and forget the accents. So I think really the accents is more for interpretation, to separate the notes slightly, so you're sort of soft. And then loud, you can crescendo there. There at the coda, those two measures, start it out kind of soft and go up to loud, each one a little louder, now loud, very loud, and then here, that's very loud, and claps the wrist when you do that, boom, you know, don't pound on it, don't, no, it's just, that, boom. Lots of weight is all it is. You don't have to use little finger. Since it's so loud, you might want to use a stronger finger. I could use thumb, or any of the other fingers is fine. It's not necessary to use a little finger on that last note. Now speed, well, this is where I put it in swing. Because the swing will limit your speed. There's only so fast or so slow you can go when you swing it. Otherwise, you lose the swing. And we swing the counting, or we just play it according to the counting. So it's not 1 and 2 and, it's 1 and 2 and 3. You feel this. There's no notation for it. You just feel it. It's not really a triplet rhythm, but that's the notation they give. It's a swing rhythm. It's 1 and 2, and that's what we do. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Really tell it too much on page 38, but when you get over to page 39, any of those, 1 and 2 and 3, and that's what we're after. As far as the roadmap goes, the roadmap is what I call, when do you go where? A lot of pieces you start at the beginning and go to the end. Well, not all, like here. If you look over at measure 29, you can find measure 29. At the end of it, above the staff, there's a DC all coda. DC means go to the beginning. Don't ask questions. Don't question, no. Just go to the beginning. All coda means go to the coda sign. And the coda sign is a circle with crosshairs in it. So you got to find that. Well, that's at the top of page 39 there between measures 16 and 17. Above the staff, there's a little circle. It says the words to coda. You don't need the words. They're helping you out. You need the sign. So you're going to go back to the beginning and play to that point. You're going to go up to the end of measure 16, and at that point, you're going to jump down to the coda at measure 30. I think that would be measure 30. At the coda, and then you finish it off. And the beat has to be a steady beat all throughout the whole thing. A couple little fingering situations here I didn't point out before. I'll point them out now, and how you resolve them is up to you. But take a look over on page or on measure 28 and 29 here, right? And now here. You can figure that however. I tend to do. I just stay here and then I go up 2, 3. I don't like doing a 1, 2, 1 anyway. I do a 2, and then you go back to the beginning. I'm not going to go from here to here. I'm going to go here and then here, because I'd rather change fingers on the repeated notes like at the beginning. So it's going to be a 2, 4 at first. A measure 29 is 1. I do a 2, 3, 1, 3. I end on 3. And then I do a 2, 4 when I go back to the beginning, and then a 1, 3. Here. Again, your fingering, you decide on the fingering you want. I don't like it. And then go up here. No. If I were going to end on 4th finger on measure 29, then I would use 3 and 5 at first, and then go up and change on the repeated notes.